Welcome to Soul Science, your no BS dose of mind, body healing, health, and wellness with Jacqueline Kane and Dr. Liz Lehman.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Soul Science.
Hello.
What are we going to talk about today, Jackie?
Oh, this is a good one. This is a nice, juicy one. So September is National Cholesterol Education Month.
So let's educate some listeners about cholesterol.
Yeah, would you like to start?
Sure. So that became a really big deal, probably like in the 80s, I think, where everybody was being diagnosed with high cholesterol, and high cholesterol was a killer. And really, what cholesterol is, let me try to even remember. This is like way back to the biochemistry days. So cholesterol is made in the liver, and it's essential. Actually, you need cholesterol. It's part of like your cell lining. Like, you need cholesterol in your body. Otherwise, like at a cellular level, your body just doesn't work. Somebody developed some tests to test the different levels of the different types of cholesterols, the HDLs, the LDLs, and they're like, it's a lipoprotein. That's what it is. Oh my God, poof! It just came back.
And I was just looking it up. I didn't realize that your body needs cholesterol to build healthy cells.
Right. It's part of your cell, like the cell membrane. So it's a lipoprotein. So it's like a fat protein molecule that is used in the construction of the actual like surrounding of a cell. And that barrier allows for the passage of everything in and out of your cell, all the little nutrients and this really it's tiny molecular things and all the little organelles that live inside a cell. So cholesterol is vital. Like, it's a good thing. Like, you need it. And as in all things in the body and in life and energetically, it's all about balance, right? But I guess the question really is too much of a cholesterol thing truly a bad thing? I know big pharmaceutical companies think it is.
And my question is, because way back then, and I used to like do lab work in clinics and stuff. And so I remember those numbers, like 300 was out of control, right? And high 200s. But I'm hearing recently that now they want that number to be down like high 100s, below 200.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. I mean, I don't follow that too much these days because I don't check that really,
and I don't check it. I only ask because my clients are coming in and they're like, yeah, my doctor wants it down this number, that number. And so I sometimes will go online and say, what's the number right now that they want it at?
Right. And it did used to be higher. And I know also like sort of the medical standards for blood pressure, they've lowered those as well.
I've heard the same thing.
Yeah, like they want people to stay at a lower blood pressure. I'm not really sure who they is or if they know what is going on in my body, because my body, even at 53 with no systemic diseases and of, sort of normal, body weight, things in balance, exercise levels, nutrition and whatnot, is going to be a lot different than, say, a 75-year-old who's obese, who has diabetes and heart disease and smokes 3 packs a day. I mean, you're talking totally different numbers. My blood pressure is going to be totally different, and doesn't matter if mine's higher than that person's,
Yeah.
I don't think.
And I hear a lot of my clients, because when they come in and they say that most of my clients come in for pain. So I'm helping them to get out of pain. I've learned that the people who are on even a small dose, like I'll be like, you've had a few sessions and you're not getting any better. Are you on cholesterol medication? Oh yeah, I take it all the time. I've taken it for 15, 20 years. My doctor says it's just a small dose and it's no big deal. It is a big deal. And this is where I know we've talked in previous sessions about speaking up. This is one place that I educate my clients, speak up, because that's a side effect. If you're getting pain, or if you've been taking that cholesterol medication for a long time and now you have weakness in your legs, now you're falling, now you have shoulders and you can't even move, you need help getting a coat on or getting dressed, that's a sign of a side effect. And you could ask for a different medication. And sometimes that pain goes away.
And right. And they have to speak up, but it's not always tied to that, oh, well, it gets like, it can get really complicated. Like if that person has fibromyalgia, say they have arthritis, they have other reasons for that type of symptomology, it often is going to be blamed on that, not the medication, because we're treating your cholesterol, which is elevated. And I don't know, because there's no money in this research, like when your cholesterol has been lowered in these individuals who were identified in having high cholesterol and needing it lowered. So now you took a pill, and those pills will make anybody be like a normal in quotes, air quotes for people listening on, Apple or Anchor, Spotify, wherever. But so you lower that number. Are they living any better? Is their heart disease reversed? Or their liver functions any better? Like all of the, because cholesterol supposedly then excess would build up in plaques. Now, and again, I'm not on the cutting edge of research on this, but it's my understanding that those plaques are inflammatory, that they are not related to cholesterol deposits, that you have this inflammation that starts the whole process. And then in a reparative mechanism, perhaps like you have some cholesterol deposits there, but it's the inflammation that's the problem, not a cholesterol number. The cholesterol is trying to fix the problem.
Right. But we're lowering that. So if you're lowering the number, is it doing its job? If its job is to make more healthy cells, by lowering that number, is it doing what it's supposed to be doing?
Well, right. There is no relationship between your whatever pill it is. I'm not going to say the names because God knows what trouble we get into. But if your cholesterol lowering agent is lowering a number, it's not related to inflammation at all. Not related. Doesn't do a thing to that. No. Doesn't make it better, doesn't make it worse. So whatever is causing your inflammation, you're still going to have that.
Yeah. You still have to look at everything else in the body, the physical, the energy, the emotion, all of it, and your stress levels. There's so much more to look at. And again, this is our message, to just speak up and even start trusting your own inner guidance. Ask your friends, boy, have you gone on cholesterol medication and you have pain? Like, start asking those questions. And because your quality of life is so much more important than a number.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I can't tell you how many times people have, said to me, and mostly it's not even because men don't talk about things, as we all know, listening, right. But it's usually like the wife who I'm friendly with, or even like have just met at, whatever, a dinner party back when we all used to have those pre-COVID or whatever. Or like whatever, you're out with dinner with friends. And so she's saying, oh God, he's complaining all the time. His back hurts, his legs hurt, he can barely walk. I think he was fine like 6 months ago, and now he struggles going up the stairs and I'm like, well, what medicine is he on? And 9 times out of 10, actually probably really close to 10 out of 10.
Yep.
It's like, oh yeah, so he is on that.
Yep.
And it doesn't, it's not necessarily with those either. Most of the time it is like a cause and effect, like you start taking it and then this happens, but it can be gradual.
It could be gradual.
And build up over a long time. And I will say, so many people just listen to their doctor, as you said, Jackie, and just take all that blindly in. My father, who is 83 and has progressive dementia, and he was having some trouble like swallowing, and has a whole laundry list of medications and vitamins like he swears by and my mother swears by, because she like makes sure he takes them every day. And he actually really doesn't have very many other health problems other than, the worst one, the brain. Well, I don't know if it's worse. Pick your disease. That's a fun game to play. But I don't know what I'd pick.
I don't want to pick any of them.
I know. Let's not pick any. Yeah, no. But so we're going through the list of pills to get rid of. And, he was an orthopedic surgeon, swears by glucosamine. Like glucosamine is like going to fix all the joint pains. I need it. I'm like, you're not running the marathon anymore, Dad. And that is like a horse pill. Like, stop taking the glucosamine. He still takes the glucosamine. They cut it in half. It's, but the Lipitor, his cholesterol medicine. And I was like, he doesn't need it. Mom's like, oh no. Fred, who was their internal medicine doctor, Fred says he has to have it. I'm like, no, Fred is wrong. First of all, you're 83. Stop it. Second of all, your dementia is going to get worse before anything else, no. And you're going to choke, and then you're going to die from choking, from trying to swallow all your pills. But the point being,
it's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. The point being, you take what your doctor says as dogma, like, oh, I need this. There's no, like my story, there's no sense at all why this man should be taking that medication. He should only be taking like a small blood pressure pill because he does have high blood pressure. But that's all.
My father-in-law went through a time where, they think he may have had a stroke, and they were really questioning what it was. And at one point I'm asking her, okay, so what is he taking? What's his blood pressure? His blood pressure was like 112/80 or 76, or maybe even lower than that. And I'm used to low blood pressure. I remember when my kids were young, it was like 90/50. When it's that low, you're exhausted, right? And I was in my 30s, so I could handle it. But this guy was in his late 70s. No wonder he's falling.
Of course.
He's probably like dropping out, right? His blood pressure's dropping, and you're taking a medication to look. Why?
Right.
It's low enough.
Right.
Plus you're taking the cholesterol, plus you're taking, then you just start adding stuff up. And I'm
right.
like,
and because his blood pressure's too low. And I'll tell you another thing, because again, I know this from my father, and I've heard it's a medicine, but these aren't the things they tell you about.
Yeah.
Because you're older, you don't move so quickly, you have prostate problems, you don't want to get up and pee. So they don't drink. They don't drink enough. They'll have their cup of coffee or two, which is also a diuretic with the caffeine in it. So you're dehydrated. So your intravascular volume is down. And then you add onto it this medication, because again, you're treating that number. Your blood pressure has to be a certain thing. And that's what happens. Then they, stand up, too dizzy. Their blood pressure doesn't regulate, because as you get older, also you lose that sort of autonomic regulation of your blood pressure. There are things in your body that will speed up your heart rate. You stand up too quick, or you dehydrate, your blood pressure goes low. It's called orthostatic hypotension, low blood pressure. They fall down, then they break a hip. Like it's all because we're treating a number. Like, where's the common sense? There has to be some sense involved, and there really isn't.
And I truly believe that some people are fine with a higher number, right? They may never have a heart attack or a stroke or anything. And you brought up another good point, drinking water, right? So many elderly people don't drink water.
No.
And they're dehydrated. And then they throw all these medications, which dehydrate the body even more, create stiffness, you know. And then they go to the doctor and they're like, well, it's your rotator cuff, so let's give you a surgery. I'm like, wow,
No.
stop with the surgery, stop with the bills,
Right.
drink water, you
Yeah.
know, but yeah,
I
it's a
know.
vicious
I
cycle.
mean, right. And you know, your rotator cuff tear or arthritis in your shoulder, it may be there. So what, you know, like there are other things that you got to fix first. Yeah, the cholesterol for me, no. I mean, I know, and again, everybody's got to make their own choice and discuss that with their own physician, listeners.
Yes, we are not telling you what to do. Do not drop all your medication, but start educating yourself. If you're in physical pain and you're taking some of these medications, and depending on your age, and start tuning in to, because there are natural ways to lower your cholesterol.
Absolutely.
There are.
What do you recommend for that? Because I don't even know that many. I mean, I'm like,
all right, Jacqueline, what is it?
Jackie, but can you expound on that a little bit? And if not, we will get back to you, listeners.
We will get back to you. I remember, so with an Ayurvedic medicine, which it goes back thousands of years. It's from India.
Yeah, it's well established and makes a
well
lot
established.
Of sense. Yeah.
I believe they suggest like psyllium. If you take like half a teaspoon, again, you know, we'll have to get back to you on this. Don't recommend it. You really have to like check with your doctor and go through all these. But the point is that there are natural ways to lower your cholesterol. There's natural ways to heal your body.
Oh, for sure.
It's not on TV. It's not on the radio. It's not even on Facebook. You have to be very careful what you say that you do on Facebook, because it's not a money-making business.
Oh, no. They want you to stay sick. They want you to buy the drugs because that's where the money is, you know?
Job security.
There's no money to be made in healthy people, you know? There's a lot more people at the hospital and clinic than there are at the gym, I'm telling you. But I will say, like, for me and just what I've seen and, you know, over 20 years of taking care of patients, that like the triglycerides and the fat that is in your body, that is worse than a cholesterol. And like high triglycerides and that's really that level. It's part of the cholesterol test, but it really is related to like dietary intake. That's not so much of like your hereditary, your genes, or how your liver's functioning. That is more of what you're putting in your body, more of a measure of that.
Yeah. And we do need a certain amount of fat in the body to think, to process.
Right.
There was a great, I was introduced to, so I don't know if you've heard stories, but my second son kind of went through some autism stuff. He was on the spectrum. And around that time, there was a scientist, a woman scientist, who shared what happened in her family, that she had 4 kids and her youngest all of a sudden had an allergic reaction to peanuts. She was the only one in the family who was allergic to peanuts. So then, because she's a scientist, she researched it and discovered that this was back when they started taking the fat out of the milk and talking about how fat is not good for you.
Right.
So everybody was all into low fat, 1%, you know, and all this other stuff.
I ate all that poison. I did. I put it in my body.
I did too. And I gave it to my kids because I didn't know. Right. So then in researching this, fat is needed for your brain function, to think and to process. So now, right around when my kids were like 95 and 97, that's when they were born, they're grown up on no fat, right? All the other chemicals they put in the food to take out the fat, to make it taste good.
And it's good fat you're talking about, not like,
I'm talking good fat.
Not the McDonald's,
No.
like saturated, like
no,
nothing against McDonald's, I'm just saying, but you know, fast food kind of chemically made. Yeah, like the fats, avocados and olive oils and all of the
and nuts,
whole milk and nuts.
Yeah. And whole milk, right?
Right.
Because I grew up on whole milk. I believe it's why I still have my teeth, right? I believe it really was good for the bones. So we have to be our own doctor and our own scientist and research. We can't listen to one thing and say, take all this stuff, because if you're taking all these pills and not feeling good, and you're just adding one problem after another, when do you stop?
Yeah.
When do you stop? Because they don't take you off of that cholesterol medication.
Hello.
They'll just keep adding to it.
Dad's 83, 84, still taking the cholesterol stuff. Or what? Right? Like yeah, they'll just like got to get my prescription filled.
Yeah.
So stupid. Like, it's really stupid. Like, why? Same thing. This is like an aside from the cholesterol thing, but you've had people who like, they're doing colonoscopies on them at 80, like screening colonoscopies. I'm like, the man, and I get it. It's different if you have a symptom, it's a diagnostic thing. This is a colon cancer screener. Very important to do at, when you turn 50 or anytime you're having any bowel changes, bleeding, symptoms, whatever. I fully believe in colonoscopies. They're awesome. And you feel so much lighter afterwards. It's really nice.
It's true. It is true. That's the only thing I like about it, though.
Yeah, the prep is not so pleasant. The anesthesia is awesome, and you feel light after. But yeah, so like 80 years old, and I'm like, well, you may be a very fit and vigorous 80-year-old, but if you had a colonoscopy prior to that, you don't necessarily need to keep continuing that, along with the mammograms. It's a question you need to ask your physician. In this particular instance I am referencing, this was not a fit and vigorous 80-year-old. This is someone who was very infirm. And I'm like, we are going to kill him giving him this colonoscopy rather than any benefit that this will provide this man. Like, he may not survive the bowel prep, okay? Like, just, there's a lack of common sense. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Like, or the expression, I can't see the forest for the trees, like I just lost the whole sight of everything, all of the things. It's insane.
There are those moments when I'm talking to clients and I'm like, what are you doing? Why? That's when you have to like do something else.
Yeah. I get
it. And it's okay. We give you full permission even to find a different doctor that you're aligned with.
Yeah.
If you are not aligned with your doctor, you have full permission to go get a second opinion, go ask somebody else, do whatever you have to do to feel better.
And we are fortunate, I think, in this country that there are very few locations where you're really stuck with one person. I mean, I'm sure there are very rural areas and there's maybe a handful of facilities that you have access to, but a lot of times you can see and change other people. And there's a lot of stuff out there on the internet too. Some of it is very good, some not so good. I would recommend choosing sources from reputable places.
Yes.
To gather information from. We can put that in a list as well. I think. And
yeah, this isn't just about going online and finding one. You research it. You make sure that you hear the same information in a few different, that's what I do anyway. I don't go to just one. I go to a few to make sure that that one's not biased, right? That I'm going to hear the same thing.
Well, and there is a well-known thing with research bias. I know, Jackie, like if a study comes out, look who's sponsoring the study. Okay. Because if they're all saying, oh, 100% it's indicated that, and our results proved with, incidence of so-and-so percentage that this is very beneficial to longevity, weight loss, prevention of whatever disease, whatever it is they're trying to prove, they can find a way to prove it. But it's sometimes sponsored by the manufacturer of said cure. that
Mhm.
should set off an alarm bell. Somewhere between there, taking your health life hacks from TikTok and find the happy medium. Do your research.
Reputable source.
Yes.
Right? No, not TikTok,
Yeah.
not Instagram, not Facebook story. No.
And you can take all those informations and because really, and that is the point of all of this and the conversations we keep having, Jackie, is like, you know your body best. You need to be your advocate for you, and you need to speak up once you have that information. And all of that information is there. And I mean, the internet is like an amazing tool.
Mhm.
Use it, gather your sources, and then take that to people you feel comfortable with. Go have that discussion with your family practitioner, with your nurse practitioner, with your healer, whomever you think. Talk to different people. I mean, you can go see different doctors and get second opinions. And so often we don't want to do that because we're afraid we're going to offend someone, or,
Or like you said before, they don't have time. They're so busy. I don't want to bother them.
No.
Well, great. You don't want to bother them, but giving you the wrong medication could mean life or death.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. You owe it to yourself sometimes people take more time placing an order at a restaurant or figuring out, what they're going to wear for something than they do talking about their healthcare or considering if they should or should not be taking that pill. But they can't decide between the chicken wings or the nachos. I don't know. Right?
So true. What am I going to have for dinner?
Right. What are we going to eat tonight? I don't know. And you're like, oh yeah, okay, I'll take the prescription.
Can you call it in so I can go get it right now?
Right. You're like, put some thought into what you are putting into your body, how you are treating your body. That's really the thing.
Absolutely. Your body is sacred, and let's take care of it that way.
Yes. You are more than a number. You are more than just a number. That's what I say about cholesterol month. You are more than a number.
And your quality of life is more important than that number. Whoever they or whatever they decide it to be, and whoever they are. Let's have you be they.
Right. Absolutely. They just got fired and there's a job opening and you are stepping into it. Welcome to being the CEO of your body.
Yes. I love that. All right.
That's perfect. That'll be the title of this episode. Be the CEO of your body.
Well, thank you, Liz. This was a great conversation. And everybody out there, again, let us know what you resonate with, how you're doing, and what you think. And again, have an awesome, awesome day, and see you next time.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Jackie.
Bye.
Bye.